Breathwork changed my life, now I'll help you change yours. In 2013, my world was turned upside down when my partner was murdered. I was thrown into grief, a place I never expected to be. The last decade plus has been a journey of healing, learning what works and what doesn't. Also how to rebuild from the darkest of places. I founded Vidya Breathwork, a method designed to make healing simple and accessible, and now I train facilitators to share this transformative practice globally. Welcome to The Dark Side with Verity, the podcast where we get real about transformation, growth, and stepping into your strength. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of The Dark Side with Verity. To begin, let's start with our breath. If you're walking, eyes soft. If you're sitting down, just placing your hand on your thighs, we'll close our eyes and sync up together. If you're heavy in the hips, allow your spine to grow tall. Take a big inhale through the nose. And a long, slow exhale, let it go. Let your body fully arrive and fully be present. In this episode, it is a question from you. How to cope with a breakup. I will preface this in it's been a long journey of, I would say, testing out everything that does not work. Whether it's going on a trip with your girlfriends or a bender or going out for a night, making decisions that you may regret later, or just completely avoiding everything. Whatever it is, it's probably been done before. One thing that really changed the game for me was breathwork. I feel like you already knew I was going to say that. Every single breakup previous was just going through the motions, and I didn't have the tools, which so many of us don't. Like who tells us when you're ready to leave a situation or when it's ended and you haven't had that choice? Because most of the time, if we're going through the breakup and we aren't the ones who've made that decision, it's tough. It's tough on the body, it's tough on the brain, on the heart, on the soul, all of it. Because we want to know why. We want to have all the answers of why this person has made this decision, because it's another thing that it's out of our control, perceived control, right? We think we have this grand plan of we've planned our life out and it's going to work out like this. I know firsthand that everything can be ripped away in a second. That's also not the greatest way to look at life, because that can also come with walls. Maybe protection, but it's like a long journey of allowing your body to break down those walls, because it's necessary to allow love back in. Breathwork is something that allows your body to process without you having to speak to the other person, because a lot of the times in the breakup, maybe it's no contact, you're not speaking to the other person, or it's not best serving if you have these conversations. For me, it allows space to go into a place where you don't need to have the conversations. You get the answers that you're searching for. Every breathwork session is different. A lot of the times we can go in with an intention, and this intention is just blown out of the water, because we may want to go there to heal our body, to feel better, to create some space in our mind. And that might work sometimes. Sometimes it's a creative journey. Sometimes you end up on the floor in a crying mess. Whatever it is, it's what your body needs. So especially if it's after a breakup, your body is feeling quite raw, probably really emotionally exhausted and tired. Those spaces where everything's kind of ripped away, our body looks for solutions, for answers. And if it's be able to found in a breathwork session, it brings this inner peace. think of breathwork as a daily shower. You cleanse your body every day. You do a 5-minute practice every day. And this is like an energetic cleanse. So anything that's happened that day, that's come onto you, or people you've come into contact with, cleansed. You wake up refreshed. You start each day with your cleanse. When it's after a breakup, your body knows it's going in to do some deep work. And so quite often that looks, it can be fearful for your body, but always remember in these processes to fully surrender and trust your body, because it's never going to give you anything you can't handle, just like life, although it feels like the opposite in these moments. When you're going into the session, your body will put you into the process you're ready for. And so that's probably feeling all of the things. But trust me, it's better to feel them in a breathwork session than thinking that you need to tell the other person or unload onto all of your friends or wallow for days. Because at the end of the day, we all come to this conclusion of what's meant for us will stay. So maybe that person wasn't meant for you, which can be harsh if someone tells you that at the beginning, right? You want to know what it is they left. Why? That we always look for these reasons why, and maybe it's just not right. So when you go into it, your body will take you to a space that you will get the answers you need. And it may be of your past. So maybe these protective walls that you've put up in the past, you start to acknowledge them, or you understand why they were there. Maybe it's emotions that you thought you were feeling but weren't really, because it was a blind spot for you in that moment. Maybe some of the things they said to you start to be ingrained in your body, and you have these realizations when you're in your subconscious. Because when you're in a breath session, you're out of this thinking, logical mind that tries to make sense of every single thing that happens to you. It's a meaning maker. When you're in your subconscious in a deep breath, that's gone. You are just deep in there, in your memories, in your emotions, in your space to truly feel. It's a space where you're fully supporting you. You're nourishing your body just by breathing in this space. Because anything that you're feeling, it's stuck emotions. Emotions are energy in motion, and they need to move through the body. So if you're just sitting there talking about the process, thinking about the process, that, oh, this is what they said to me at this point in time, that's not helpful, and it doesn't achieve anything. Your body needs to feel it, however painful it seems. You will be okay. Your body needs to feel and process, and you need space to do that. So if you keep pushing your way through life, or numbing and going on a bender, or what are they called? Having a rebound relationship, whatever it is, you know none of that is going to help you later on or ever. So taking yourself or booking yourself in to have a deep breathe is the answer. Because you need to understand all of these beautiful layers that you've put on your body at some point to either protect you, or maybe throughout the relationship you've transformed into someone maybe you weren't before. Like, I don't know this situation, the question that I'm answering exactly. I just know that when you're going through a breakup, or you've been through a breakup, that hurt inside needs somewhere to go. And if you don't address it on your own, you're going to unleash on other people. And that's not a really nice thing to do, because in that moment, you're the hurt person, and hurt people hurt people. And we can all say that we want somebody else to fix us, or it's the other person's fault. It's not going to get anyone anywhere. We need to take responsibility for our own emotions. So yes, you can feel betrayed, hurt, and all of the things. there is space for you to feel that. But it's in a breathe. When you're in there feeling all the layers of emotions, your body gets to experience it in a really safe container. Because, I was going to say, because imagine, you don't even need to imagine. I mean, look at the past stories I've shared of mine. There's moments where I've been really hurt, and rather than having a conversation or doing a deep breathe, which I didn't know at the time, I've then gone and drunk 3 bottles of wine on my own. It's like this weird version of like self-sabotage, but rather than the hurt going out, you're like literally taking more in to your body. And so that just creates another layer that you're going to have to deal with later. So if you can know that you're not your thoughts and your emotions are in your body, it's something that needs to be moved through you. The breathe is the space to do it. I would always do it supported with somebody, because in these spaces when you're in a really vulnerable state, you want a space, safe space holder to support you. Otherwise, it's like another thing that you're being probably hyper independent and you're going to do it on your own and move through that. It's important to be surrounded by a community, other beautiful people, because when you're breathing, you get to feel these emotions and you don't have to worry about anybody else. It is that space of being healthily selfish. If you can lay there in a breathe, feel all of your emotions, the sadness, the grief, the rage, the happiness, the joy, because you're going to remember all of the good times and you're going to make them feel and seem like it's the be all and end all. This is where you need to do it. Like going back and telling your partner all the things they did to you or the way they made you feel, it's probably not going to change the result. What you can change is the way you feel about it. And that is all the inner work. And as much as I wish I could do it for you, nobody else can. It is daily breaths plus go into these beautiful deep breaths, have sessions where you get to feel, express it all. And it's like those spaces where, like, kids have a tantrum. When they're upset, they bang their hands, stamp their feet, they yell, they scream, probably run off. And then in a couple of minutes, they're just like happy, laughing, because all of that energy has moved through their body. Whereas adults do it in reverse. We hold everything in and be like, oh, I'll be fine, out in public, and then maybe you go home and you're like crying yourself to sleep. You're holding it all together. You're holding it all in because you feel like you need to be put together or kept. I think like this aspect is where the whole world has gone wrong, because we need to have this perceived thing that we don't feel this or we don't have these emotions or we're able to cope, to handle things. Like, I work with so many people. We all have the same emotions, same feelings. So there's no shame in finding healthy ways to feel them and move them through your body. 'Cause I promise you this will be the way forward. Imagine we all do that. We all take responsibility of our own emotions, our own feelings. It means that we're then able to show up for other people, but we're able to have conversations with maybe our ex-partners later and communicate in a way that's really healthy. That's going to serve the both of you, because it's my full belief that nobody does anything with an ill intent. It's just that somewhere down the line in their life they've been hurt and they have been triggered and probably don't know how to deal with that. They may not even be aware. So this is where kindness goes a long way, compassion goes even further, for yourself first, but also for other people, because I know that there's never, well, I believe there's never been a time that somebody has actually set out to hurt me. They've never gone out of their way to just make sure that I suffer. In their mind, they are just doing the best they can, or what they know, or what they think. And until we all have some like self-awareness or self-reflection, people will go sometimes throughout their whole entire lives just blaming everybody else. We can, but that's not actually going to get us anywhere. Because all that is doing is like allowing that negative energy to really solidify in your own body. Forgiveness is something that is for ourselves. That's selfish too, but it's really healthy. Because if you're holding on to all of that anger, all of that frustration, what's that achieving? Like every day we have this space to wake up and be the version of ourselves that we choose. And that means every morning you wake up and breathe, so your body is cleansed and feels good to start the day. Like you're already off to a better start. This is our like own energetic hygiene that we can start to really acknowledge and work through. To my advice, and again, no relationship guru. I'm going to always like preface this on all of it. Everyone comes to me for advice, but I'm only telling you what I know has worked for my clients, what's worked for me, is that when I did have the tools of breathwork, going through breakups or tough situations just became so much more spacious in my body. I was able to think clearer. Because when we're in this space of, I hate this word, but feeling like it's all happening to me, like in the victim phase, again, that's just such like low level energy. And nothing good happens from this space, because we'll always find like a negative thing about that to hold us there. Like if we're stuck in that low space, it feels like a real slump to have to move out all the time. But if you wake up in the morning when your body is fresh, breathe, this like allows this little hack to give our body, our brain, our heart, our soul just a bit of space. Maybe the thoughts come in, but if you continue to practice that, your body starts to become more accustomed of having more space, more safe in knowing that life is happening for us, not to us. We step out of that victim phase and start to put more trust back into life, back into the universe, back into the world. When we do that, our body will acknowledge that we're safe and that it's okay. And that's when new perspectives and new possibilities start to shine through. Because when you're deep in it, you don't see past here. I feel like it's like that freeze state. When you're fully in freeze and your body is shut down, I always felt like it was a meter. Like that was kind of my space where nobody was in that space and everyone was just like that bit further away. Whether that was my coping mechanisms, my protection, my body just in full shutdown. The bubble around me is like a meter. And when you're in that, it feels like it's really tough to get out. So having these tools to practice daily, because that's, in all of this work, the daily practice is the it and a bit. Every day if you wake up and do 5 minutes, which that part no one can do for you. It is nobody else's job or responsibility because nobody's with you 24/7. They can't force you to sit down and breathe every day. That has to be your conscious decision to want to feel better every day. Because if you're not showing up for yourself, what kind of energy are you putting out to the universe, the world? I'm getting even more woo-woo. But what kind of message are you sending out to the universe, the world, to everybody around you? Like we are the people that teach everybody how to teach us. And so that always like comes back to that radical responsibility. So if you're sitting there blaming everybody else, it's like that phase where you've allowed that at some point. At some point that person has decided that they can speak to you this way or treat you this way. And so when we have this protection bubble instead of a like free shutdown bubble. This is all the good energy that you then radiate out. That's where you can help others. That's where you can be this like beacon of light for everybody around you. And that allows more positivity in, mostly it allows you to see the world differently. When your perspective changes, you allow compassion. Like, imagine if everybody just did this. Right? This is why I continue to talk about it. Because I know the massive shifts in my own way of thinking just from doing this. Like, it's huge. So, how to heal from your breakup? Vid your daily practice. Point being daily. Because we want to get your nervous system back to a space of feeling safe and regulated. And so this does mean putting it into some controlled stress. So the daily practice is consistent of the 3 belly breaths, the conscious connected mouth breaths. We add in a breath hold to activate your vagus nerve, and then we repeat that. Basically, we're taking your nervous system to the gym. So we're like, put it into calm, controlled stress, calm, controlled stress, calm, calm. Then that's the point where you meditate, whether it's a minute, 30 minutes, I don't mind. Just some space for your brain, because if you get that little piece of nothingness, that feels pretty good. The other recommendation for this is to place your body into the nervous system reset. This position is a lifelong position. There's ways to do this that will work for you. If you have no time during the day, do it in bed. Lay on the bed, shove pillows under your knees so that your back is flat, your legs are up at 90 degrees. It's the most comfortable position for your body. It brings safety back. All the blood goes back to your brain, back to your heart, so it tells your body it's safe. Those 2 things will help. They're the daily tasks that you can do. The other one is booking in a deep breathe. The other one I did say was community. So recommendation is jump into my app. Comment app, send me a message app, because this space is full nervous system reset in there. There's 6 weeks of my like OG healing course. Sounds like a promo, but I just know this stuff works. Because you want to work out how to feel better in this moment. That starts and ends with you. Nobody else will have the answers for you, but you can be safely supported through the process. I trust that this has answered your question. Always feel free to reach out, to share, to chat, because none of this stuff we need to go through alone. Having a supportive community, having people who have been through this stuff is why I share. No one is above any of this. This just brings the dark humor into it to make it a little lighter for our bodies and our brains and our hearts, all of the things. Take care. That's a wrap for this episode of The Dark Side with Verity. I trust it's given you clarity, sparked awareness, and allowed you to breathe a little deeper, plus a little takeaway to integrate into your life. If this has resonated, I'd love you to leave a 5-star review, of course. More importantly, I would love you to share this with someone who's on their journey and needs a little bit of assistance. Come hang out with me over at Instagram at VerityJoCoonan or The Dark Side with Verity, or start to explore Vidya Breathwork at verityjocoonan.co. Until next time, breathe deep, trust the process, and keep expanding. Much love.